systems and societies where we know that if we don't have certain kind of worthiness in terms of being productive, in terms of being desirable, we are not being taken care of. In many societies, we lose our worth, and in a way, we also become most vulnerable when we lose control over our bodies. Julia Kristeva, who wrote The Powers of Horror, maybe some of you know it, would say the corpse horrifies us. We heave at the meaning it cleaves. It is our body rebelling against the death. Corpses unsettle us. Their absent presence shifts our settled self outside our body. For a second, their chill passes over our skin, and we realize if corpses exist, so does our death. The rejection of corpses is an act of distancing. We seek space between ourselves and the things we don't want to become, don't want to be. The passage to decay begins in sick bodies, open wounds, injuries. We even sense our mortality in the feces we evacuate from our bodies, as though they weren't ours. We sense it in the waste we leave behind. What once nourished us now rots. Before long, what once propelled us now fails. And in our final moment, what remains is our body, naked and alone. When there is nothing left, and everything turns to waste. This is the ultimate fear in ugliness, to be considered waste, to the system, to society. A relationship that is not afraid of ugliness, that can face and confront ugliness and still love the other and, themselves, that is the kind of relationship we want to have to others and to ourselves. To be able to know fundamentally that you can be loved even if you lose that pose, even if you can't perform anymore, even if you don't work along the lines of productivity, profit, and desirability. And I found that very, very inspiring for me as well, because while I was writing the book and also finishing the book, I was in the position of taking care and being confronted with the ugliness of cancer, sickness, and death. And I was able to experience, during this trip, a lot of people constantly use the word beautiful for all kinds of things, whether it's nature, whether it's like this architecture, or like a feeling of magnificence. And I tried to move away from that word in this book because it has a very specific controlled meaning. But yes, I was able to experience in these moments of absolute devastation a sense of beauty, of magnificence, understanding that there can be love, and if you are loved, it doesn't matter how much your body decays, how ugly the situation is, ugly in the sense of you hate the situation, you hate the sickness, you hate what your body is doing, and still there are people around you that are taking care of you and loving you. And I actually talked a lot with Rina also about this throughout the trip, that I had sometimes issues relating to the buildings or to like the spaces we were interacting with. Like I could understand they're beautiful, but they didn't really give me the spiritual feeling that I was longing. But I was able to see it in the interactions between humans throughout the trip, and especially when we were at the hammam, because it really changed my perspective on Afghan womanhood, for instance, or having a body and having a body that can be vulnerable. I really enjoyed getting out of my head and becoming a body in the hammam with you all collectively, and understanding that now I'm going to shut down my brain and I'm just going to be there. And this strange lady that I have never seen reminded me of my mother, and she was just taking me and taking care of me, and I felt like a baby in a way. And it was, of course, I paid for that moment of care, But it was more than that. I mean, the labor she invested and also the energy and the interactions that we had was much more than $30. So it was a beautiful, beautiful moment for me, and goes all back to the idea that ultimately the answer to the fear of ugliness is, of course, justice, but also care.